Well, I'm out here to talk to you about the Reigniting Our Faith Capital Campaign. Over the last several weeks, we have had the receptions after all the masses to introduce the Reigniting Our Faith Capital Campaign. All of you have also received the mailing with the envelope as well to contribute to the Reigniting Our Faith Capital Campaign. So this is the last phase of the Reigniting Our Faith Capital Campaign, where I am now going out to all the parishioners, those who have attended and those who have not been able to attend the receptions, to ask for your support for the Reigniting Our Faith Capital Campaign. And you may ask yourself, why should I support another capital campaign? Why would it benefit me, and why would it benefit St. Michael the Archangel Church? Well, hopefully what I'm going to present to you will help you maybe to understand more fully why it would benefit us. Let me first give you some information before I get into other details. We have been given a goal by the diocese of $475,000 for our Reigniting Our Faith Capital Campaign here at St. Michael's. It is a goal. It is not an assessment. It is not like the Bishop's Appeal where I have to pay it if we do not reach that goal amount. But it is a goal that would benefit us if we can reach that amount. 70% of whatever we raise stays with us here at St. Michael the Archangel Church. 30% of it will go to the diocese for three specific areas. Those three specific areas that it will go to the diocese to be used for are all restricted. The Capital Campaign Foundation is also restricted, because the first question in your mind is, what about the clergy sexual abuse crisis? And what about all of the lawsuits that have been coming forward? Won't that money be attached to that? Well, this is a separate foundation, a separate corporation. It is not under the auspices of the diocese itself. So the monies that come in go straight to the foundation. So once you write that check out, we then send a check off to the foundation. And then ultimately, when we're ready to use our portion of the money, we then put forward the reasoning why we want to use that money. That's part of our case that we ourselves have set out in all of our information as well. So for us here at St. Michael the Archangel, we would then allocate that money to certain specific areas that are going to benefit our parish community. We've done that already. Our Reigniting Our Faith Capital Campaign Committee, which was made up of all the members of the Finance Committee and the Pastoral Council here at St. Michael's, have met for several months in putting that case together. The three areas that it'll go toward for the diocese are for retired clergy for their retirement and their pension, as well as for vocations, to help support vocations, as well as Catholic education. And when I say Catholic education, I do not simply mean Catholic schools. It is for all the faith formation programs in the diocese, as well as youth ministry, young adult ministry, evangelization. Again, that is something very close to our hearts here at St. Michael the Archangel. Also, for ourselves, the 70% would go toward, again, focusing on programs such as our lifelong faith formation program, as well as our youth ministry program, evangelization, and welcoming programs, because that is something that, an initiative that we feel very strongly about for the future of this parish community, that we need to get out into the neighborhoods to begin to go and invite people to join us here at St. Michael the Archangel, especially for families. There is a tremendous amount of growth in this area. You yourselves know that there are many new housing projects that have been going up over the last several years. We need to reach those people. So that, again, is where we want to use some of the funds for our Reigniting Our Faith Capital Campaign. Other areas that we want to use it are very practical. So this facility, this church and the entire facility, is now between 38 and 30 years old. The 38 part is when it was built in 1982 to replace the old St. Michael the Archangel Church on Stowe Hill that burnt down in 1978. So, and then the additions were put on in 1999. So the roof is between 30 and 38 years old. And the roof has to be replaced. I don't have to tell you that. You've sat underneath this roof during heavy rainstorms, and you've seen the water coming in. So, and you can see the water stains in all of the structural areas, right underneath here. Those are the stains that ultimately, if we don't deal with this, is going to undermine the roofing system on the inside with the beams itself. So those stains are particularly problematic for us because it could say there's something else more going on there than just a stain from the water itself. Along with that, I got other good news a couple weeks ago. Anytime the Buildings and Grounds Committee wants to come in to see me, I kind of like say, uh-oh. And they came to see me a couple weeks ago to tell me that all these upper windows, we have to take them out before the winter sets in. And we have to have them reset and all new caulking put in because all the leaks are also coming from all of these windows on the upper part of the roofing system itself, even in the church, that those windows have to be taken out. After several bids that came in, we finally got a bid for $13,000, thank God, because the first bid was $30,000, and I groaned at that. So we got, the bids then will need to replace the caulking around the windows reset in as well. Now, I know that you know that we have had an ongoing problem with the heating and air conditioning system as well. $45,000 later, and we're still not done with fixing the system, we had to put all new piping in for the entire system. And we're still not getting it to work at the proper way. Right now, it feels like air conditioning's on to me.
It is.
That should not be. That should not be. And so we continue to work on this system with Johnson Control. God bless Lou Santa Barbara and Tony Sleesman and their patience with this. But we will get this working properly. But again, it was a system that was antiquated, that had seen better days, has been worn out. So we're at $45,000 with that. It's probably going to be a little more money to fix that as well. The whole entire roof itself is probably going to cost us somewhere in the range of $200,000. So this is what we would be using a good portion of our Reigniting Our Faith Capital Campaign funds for. Then there are things we want to do interiorly, which will be much more enjoyable to see. That won't happen until we see what all of this stuff costs us, because this is vitally important. It's about keeping a roof over our heads. It's about making sure the structure is sound and secure itself from water damage going forward in the future as well. And when we do get to that point where we're going to do interior stuff, we're going to have town hall meetings to discuss all of that, to get everybody's input on all of that as well. So this is how we would spend our 70% of the Reigniting Our Faith Capital Campaign. And then the 30% would be for those three areas I mentioned, that for the diocese: retired clergy, pension for vocations, and for Catholic education. Now, in considering what you would give, I would ask people to consider between $1,000 and $2,500. So I stopped off at Dunkin' Donuts this afternoon because I live on caffeine. And so I usually get a large dark roast coffee with cream and sugar. That cost me $2.91. And I do that every day, somewhere at midday, to get that boost for the afternoon. And so it costs me about $20 a week that I throw out on incidentals of coffee at Dunkin' Donuts. So if you give $1,000, you can actually spread it out over 5 years. You can pay it off over 5 years, you can pay it off over 3 years, you can pay it off as quick as you want to pay it off. But of $1,000, if you pay it off over 5 years, that's $17 a month. Not bad, I don't think. Think about what you throw $17 a month away on. If you give $1,500, that's $25 a month over the 5-year period. If you give $2,500, it's $42 a month over the 5-year period as well. If we can get a good number of our parishioners to join in on supporting the Reigniting Our Faith Capital Campaign, we will be able to accomplish all of this required work, because I got to do it no matter what, whether I raise the money or not, and I got to figure out how ultimately to pay for it. And we can do everything else, and especially the programmatic side, which is about reaching out and evangelizing our greater community, to welcoming new families into the parish, to encourage greater involvement ministerially as well in our parish community, to encourage our youth, our young adults, and everyone to take ownership in the parish itself. And then if we can also be able to do the things interiorly that we want to do, all the more better for us. But all of us will have a voice in all of that as well. So what I'm humbly asking you is to consider supporting the Reigniting Our Faith Capital Campaign. You have received the envelope and the letter from me. You can simply fill that out, that information, and you can either mail it in to the office, you can hand it to myself or to whoever when you come into the office, or you can place it in the regular collection basket over these next several weeks. I will tell you this, I'm going to be like that persistent widow in the gospel today. This will not be the last time you hear me on this. And I can tend to be relentless when I know I have to get something done for the betterment of everybody else. So I will be continuing to come to you on this. As I said, we've raised so far $50,000 of the $475,000 that our goal is for. But whatever we raise and whatever you can contribute is greatly appreciated. So if you can't come in at $1,000 or $1,500 or $2,500 or whatever it is over the 5-year period, whatever you give to help support it, it gets us closer to the goal. It gets us closer to putting a roof over our heads. Thank you, everybody. God bless.